So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. Woo, baby. I've had a little bit of a layoff on this show because of the holidays, and I am so excited to get back into it, primarily because of the young man you are about to meet. This guy is a game changer, and I cannot wait to share his brilliance with you. He does something very unique that can really impact your life in incredibly positive ways. We might even get a quick demo and maybe we can follow along and do it with him so that you can get some of the results he provides his clients. I cannot wait. But before we do that, the Mind, Body, Business Show. What is that all about? Well, in my now 56 years on this planet, I spent probably the last 10 or 11 studying only successful people. And why did I do that? Well, because I kept seeing all these people walking around that had more success than me. And I just finally got fed up and said, I want to know how they did it. And what I began to find, and these are like mentors of mine that I ended up working with physically that I met. These are authors whom I've met and other authors who aren't even with us anymore on this planet. Mentors from all different areas. And what I found over this period of time were that patterns began developing. I began noticing patterns between all of these successful individuals. And they all fell into three different categories that I like to call the three pillars of success. Now, if you look to the right or left of me, you can probably guess what those might be. Yes, that's right. Mindset. That stands for mindset. And to a person, each successful individual had a very positive, powerful, and the most important, flexible mindset. And I found out through just studying these successful people and then going deep into it myself, studying the human brain, the subconscious, and realized that our mindset is the foundation of everything we have today. Your level of success or lack thereof, I'm here to tell you it's 100% because of what's going on up here. And you can change it. It's amazing. And body, what is that all about? It's literally your body, taking care of it. Like our guest expert, he's got the mind and body and the business all going down. That's why he is on this show. He's a successful entrepreneur. His name is JayBradley, by the way, in case you were unaware. Body is about taking care of your body by working out, exercising. I know it's kind of like a four-letter word, but it's not really four letters to some, but it's the most amazing thing you can do for yourself. And we're going to do a light version of a workout, I hope, today. And don't worry, your muscles won't be fatigued. It'll be great. You're going to love it. Body. And it's about nutrition and what you take into your body. And then there's business. And business is multifaceted. I mean, my goodness. There's everything from sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on for quite some time. The good news is you, myself, Jay, any individual does not need to master every single one of those skills. If you just master one of those, and I actually mentioned one of them by name, the one. If you master just one skill set, then you can use that to delegate to others who do have those skill sets that you currently don't have. And that one is leadership. So once you've mastered that skill, then Katie bar the door, as they'd say, it's time. You can really now scale your business and bring in help. And so another amazing, wonderful attribute of very successful people I found is also to a person, they are also very avid readers of books. And with that, I like to segue into a segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yes, there you see it to the side. By the way, real quick, do yourself a favor and take out a pad of paper and a pen or a notebook or a notepad on your computer, whatever works for you, and take notes. instead of succumbing to that urge to click away, to go off and look for these resources, because I know Jay has some, and we'll put those up on the screen when it's time, and just take notes. Take notes, write down the website addresses rather than clicking on them and then visit them after the show. Here's why. The magic happens in the room. Yes, it's a virtual room. I think you understand what I'm saying. If your attention is elsewhere, I would just hate for you to miss one golden nugget that Jay is going to bring to the table that could potentially change your life for the better forever, just because you took your gaze off of the screen to go do something else. Take notes, stay with us, engage, ask questions, say hi, do all of it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, and we will bring you up on the screen and give you a shout out as a result. The Reach Your Peak Library. So reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That is a website I had developed, and I'm not kidding, with you in mind. What it is a collection of books that I personally read, and I vetted them. So not every book I've ever read is in this list. They're there for you so that you have a smaller subset of books to choose from should you be looking for that next read. Maybe it's your first read. I myself didn't start reading until my mid to late 40s, if you can believe that. I knew how to read. I just didn't do it. I didn't think it was worthy of my time. And now I can't read enough. And you see book after book in here, and all you have to do is click on the button there. This all goes to Amazon. This is not what you'd call a money-making website. I just wanted to put a collection of these here together for you, because I wish I had it when I first started. And then after having started, now I can go back and go, oh, there's another one. What's my next read going to be? Let me go back to Reach Your Peak Library. That's all it's there for. So you can now devour books in any form you feel that you like. Hardcover, softcover, Audible. That's my personal favorite. If it's available, you click on the button, you'll find out if it's there in the format you like. That is that. So be sure, if you're not doing it, to get back on the reading train, because it is a life changer. I mean, my gosh, I spent all those years not doing it. I'm glad I'm doing it now. I'm not worried about the past. Get with it, as they would say. My humble advice to you. And speaking of advice, it's time to bring on the real expert of this show. He's coming on in just a moment. Here we go.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only JayBradley.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Oh, my goodness. So this happens every show. I spend about a half hour getting to know the guest if I haven't met them before. Jay and I have never met. And it's one of those things that happens over and over and over. It feels like I've known you for a long time, my friend. It's like instant connection. And it's the synergy of what we do. You do something completely different business-wise than what I do, but to get where you're at, we both have to go through the same trials, struggles, and successes. I like to put that in there. And so appreciate you, my man. And this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to introduce you formally really soon, but real quick, we got to take care of our sponsors. And so then we'll come right back to Mr. JayBradley. Hang with me. So if you are struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming, and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like Jay and grow your business all at the same time, then head over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing courses, one that you'll learn how to absolutely master, is the very service we use to stream our live shows right here, right now on the Mind Body Business Show. And over the course of the past 9 years, I've been streaming live for over 9 years. We have tried many quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I'll tell you, StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. So start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free with StreamYard now. So go ahead and visit the website. You see it on the screen. That's ryp.im/stream live. Now, it is that time to bring on our wonderful, special, very special guest, JayBradley, who's sitting up in his chair. He's so attentive. I love it. JayBradley is an international breathwork teacher and healer and the founder of Breathe On It. He is the creator of Chakra Bombs, and I can't wait. He's going to show you these. These are amazing. And author of Live, Look, Feel, the 12-week guide to live longer, look younger, and feel better. Who does not want that?
Right.
Welcome to the show officially.
Thank you so much. I have to say that the screen just disappeared. That's why I was like, uh-oh. I'm back.
I saw you the whole time. I hope everyone else did. And the beautiful thing is if they don't see it, but they hear you, they will get everything they need out of it, except for the fact that, you're like a product of the product. You're well put together. You're very fit. You look far younger than you are. And I'm not going to divulge that unless you want to. I don't care.
76. Why not?
76. You look great. So Jay, man, one of the things I love to do with all guest experts who come on this show is, so we read a bio and we can tell you've had success, your accolades, your experience, and all that. And that's phenomenal. You're an author. I mean, that's fantastic. And people will hopefully have a copy of your book. We'll bring it up here in a minute. And so people can go get a copy of that. But what I like to do is dive deep first and find out, okay, but what got you there? What is going on in that big, beautiful brain of yours, Jay, every single day that when you get out of bed and you know of the trials and the things that are going to come and try to stop you day after day, but you have a big mission and you want to achieve it. What is it that motivates you every single day to get up and do it again and again and keep growing your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what motivates me the most is this idea of transformation, first of all. Anything transformative. Take me from, point A all the way to the end. Watching people transform is super motivating for me. But more importantly, I think knowing that I have a shortcut for people that took me maybe 30 years or more, that I can take people through a process that's much quicker. That excites me to know that people don't have to struggle as long as I did. That's one of my biggest motivators. And I love creating. So anything when I'm not in creation mode, sometimes I'm not having the most fun. I always love it when I have new ideas, new projects, when I'm in the flow that way.
And so the underlying thing there was, when you realize that you have a shortcut for people to help them, that you discovered after all of your trial and error, you want to help them by saying, bypass all that junk that I just went through and get straight to the great results. And to me, all that does is say that you love helping people. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And most successful entrepreneurs that I come in contact with, that is a common theme. And I like to bring that up for those watching and listening, that if you're struggling, it might be because you're thinking too much about how much money you're going to make versus how much you're going to help serve others. And when you're first starting out, I get it. We've all been there. It's a scarcity environment. You need the money to keep going. And so money is more on the forefront. As you acquire more and more clients and more wealth, you're able to shift over into that mindset that Jay has obviously mastered, the one of servitude and heart-centered giving and helping. And believe me, what he does just that. It helps people. And we're going to get into that definitely very, very soon. So obviously you're a very fit young man. I like to say young man because you are a lot younger than I am. And
4 years.
Carry the two. But I wanted to ask you, so, what motivates you? We covered that. So that's mind. So let's shift over to body. And don't worry, everyone, we're not going to cover all these in crazy detail because we are going to get to Jay and what he does and help you through a demonstration right here on the show. I'm just curious. I think I know the answer, but I would like to hear it from you. How important is physical fitness to you, your business, and your personal life, and why?
Yeah. Physical fitness. I started working out at 13 years old, and I'll be 52 in March, and so it has been with me a long, long time. My brother, introduced me to weightlifting in our garage at 13. And so, yes, the answer is it's super important. And, I think initially I did it because I was a bullied kid and I just wanted to get strong and, try to beat those kids up and protect myself. But then I also realized, obviously, as we get older, it's so important to keep our muscles and our bones strong. And so while I probably did it more for vanity and maybe still do, there's so many other benefits to it. So, yes, it helps my mindset. In fact, with COVID right now and the gym's closed, it's making me a little crazy. I'm trying to improvise, but heading to a gym and doing my workouts just really clears my mind more than anything else. And I think it takes discipline. And I think that is the key to people running their own business, and probably what makes an entrepreneur different than maybe somebody, who goes to work every day in a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of consistency. And I think I definitely have that down in terms of taking care of my body. And I think it's just from years and years of practice and years of habit.
Yeah, and it's a huge difference when corporate. So corporate, there's discipline, but it's not self-inflicted. It's given to you. You will do this. We're forcing you. You have to show up at this time, clock in. You got to take lunch at this time. You got to do what I tell you how to do. Everything. It's almost robotic, and I just know that from experience. And it just doesn't define me at all. I love entrepreneurship. And let's see. I'm gonna check. So we have Mr. Paul Elwood giving some love. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you for
nice.
checking out the show. Yeah, bring all the comments, the love, the likes, questions for Jay. So you weren't doing what you're doing today forever. I mean, it's been somewhat recent that you got into what you're doing now. It's long enough to where you are now expert at it. But what ignited the spark in you to start something new? I mean, you've got a lot of background in different things that you've done over your life. What ignited you a spark in you to start this new business that you're doing now and move forward into it? I mean, that's kind of scary for a lot of people to change it completely.
Well, yes, it can be super scary. I think the truth is, I think projects sometimes can fizzle out. And I mean, I was doing health coaching before, and I was working in the healing modalities, helping people. But I had lost some of the energy around that. I'm like, I know there's something else. I know there's something else that can really, really make a difference. And I wasn't sure what it was. So when this entered breathing and breath work, which we'll talk about, when it entered my life, I just knew instantly, because it was so transformative for me in a really short amount of time, that I had no choice but to literally give up everything else I was doing and study and really learn this technique, and really quickly committed my entire time and dedicating it to my breathwork business. So I would say inspiration led me there, this knowing that, wow, I found something that excites me, that inspires me, and that I know can help people.
Yeah, so I remember, I don't know if I read it on your site or where, but the story was you actually experienced it as, I don't know what they call them, a student or a client first, and then said, holy smokes. And so much that you then created your own business doing the same thing. And then you added some things to it, which I want to dig more on that. There's like these really cool, was it 7 of them?
7 main chakras. Yeah.
So let's first, before we go into that, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to hear about the details of what you do, what impact it has on the people that are your clients and yourself, because you do this with yourself as well. Yeah. And then how can people get in touch with you to do this? We'll add that in there as well. But I'm really, really intrigued over this whole process that you have mastered and help other people with. So if you wouldn't mind, give us a good overview of how that works.
For sure. I say that I work in breath work, but I bring in a lot of modalities. You and I talked about hypnosis. I have experience with that as well. But what I love so much about this deep breathing practice is it literally cracks you open very quickly, gets you to a place of sort of a meditative theta state where all of the deep healing happens. And so what I love so much is when I guide people into this place, I always say the issues are in your tissues. And, I'm talking all the issues, right? I'm talking about physical health ailments, traumas, emotional, and any sort of other blockages we might have, even on a spiritual level. Breath work kind of, I love your show is Mind Body Business. Like breath work also touches on all of these things. For the body, it helps to detox. It helps to feed your brain, your digestion, helps to boost the immunity. It releases all sorts of feel-good hormones, as well, and endorphins. And it also releases physical pain in the body. So we have a lot of physical benefits that happen when we breathe, but emotionally, and I think that's the most exciting part, is when I guide people through this process, a lot of stuff comes up, and most people leave the session saying, wow, that was really unexpected. And I think I like to hear that, because we go in maybe thinking one thing and we come out, wow, I didn't even know I had that much stuff that I was holding on to. So super exciting component. And then, you don't have to be a spiritual person to understand that we're made up of energy. And that's what these chakras are. There's 7 main energy points in our body. And when they're aligned, when they're spinning, when they're open, not only does our physical body work, but our emotional world feels so much better. And it definitely can help our business because, we need to be not only connected spiritually, emotionally, but also grounded and motivated in our work, right?
Yeah, and I want to make a quick comment on all of this because for those of you that aren't familiar with anything like this, I was one of those, and I was telling Jay this before we came on the show, that when I first heard of another science that did things that seemed too remarkable to be true, I was like, get away from me. I don't want to hear this crazy stuff. And what I'm talking about is neuro-linguistic programming. It's a science, and it's proven. And now I'm not only a proponent, I also am certified in it. And so when you were saying stuff like, wow, I didn't even expect that to happen, the same thing occurs in NLP and these other types of modalities that Jay's talking about that bring out things in you that help you to get farther forward in your life, to shake. I like to call it pulling the weeds out of the garden, which are your mind. Pulling the weeds out of the garden, which are your body. Jay mentioned that they're both intertwined because they are. The mind and body are a team, and more importantly, they're your team. And so if you have any member of that team that's not pulling their weight, say it's a sports team, well, then the team as a whole suffers. So you want to take care of everything. And so I just want to point that out, that I am excited to learn of this. I've never heard of breathing work the way you have described it to me offline. And so can we talk more about the energy points and the chakras, and then we can bring up those wonderful 7 vials you have in front of you and talk about what those do?
For sure. Yeah. I like to talk about chakras really in a practical way because I'm actually pretty practical. There's a part of me that, loves the energy and the spiritual stuff, but I also love the practical. And so if we look at all 7 of them, the root chakra is sort of at the base of our spine. And by the way, it's just chakras is a Hindu word that means discs. So we have energetic discs. And when they're flowing, they're kind of turning in a clockwise direction energetically. When they get blocked or muffled, they can kind of get stagnant. So the idea is just to get them all balanced and flowing. And the root chakra, it's really about grounding. It's about feeling safe and connected to the earth, but also about abundance and money and prosperity. So whenever there's blockages there, people can start to feel literally physical pain in their body sometimes, including lower back and, hips and down the legs. So it's just an interesting awareness. And the sacral is right under the belly button. And that is really about healthy sexuality, healthy sensuality. And it's about creativity and passion. And it's kind of our life force energy, our chi. And if we're not flowing in that area, we can kind of lack motivation and inspiration, in our life. Then we go to the solar plexus, which is kind of right under the ribs here. And that's all about self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, personal power, really owning who you are in the world and then moving forward and acting on it. And the heart, of course, really just about unconditional love. It's about not only giving, but receiving love and also forgiveness, compassion, empathy, being more gentle with ourselves, with others. And then the throat is about speaking your truth, doing what you do, which is really vocalizing and sharing your message with the world, and also setting healthy boundaries in relationships. Some people can be really challenged with that and asking for what you need. And then the third eye right here, that is really about clarity, about foresight. It's about sort of having a vision of where you're going in your life, which really comes into play in your business, like almost goal setting and having visions of where you want your business to go. And then the crown is at the top of the head. And that really just connects you to whatever it is for you, whether it's God, angels, universal energy. It doesn't really matter. Just trusting that we have some energy guiding us bigger than ourselves.
Fantastic. And you have something there in front of you that you've developed that I thought it was genius because you apply it in such a way that it actually lands on all of those 7 areas. So I'm going to bring you up full screen again so people can see what this is. And
I love the Chakra Bombs. The other thing I love about breathing and deep breathing and how it helps your business is you will get ideas, you will get clarity, you'll get downloads, as I call them, similar to when you meditate. And you'll get off the table after your session or off the floor, wherever you are, and you will start to develop these ideas. This came to me in a breathwork session. And they are just custom blended essential oil chakra bombs. And we apply a little bit to all 7 chakras before we breathe, before we meditate, before we do yoga. And the custom blends really help to accentuate and, as I say, ignite your chakras. And they smell amazing. There's over 100 drops of essential oil in each one, hand blended by me. And so I'm really proud of these, and they really make an impact. People are loving them.
Yeah, I think it's just genius that you added that to this whole thing. So now, I mean, now people that may not know where these energy centers are know where they're at because they have balm in those areas. And and what those are made of consists of, they're not inexpensive, ladies and gentlemen, the ingredients. So it's super high quality. And, you know, I think it's just awesome because it focuses on those 7 areas. It gives them that additional, maybe even subconscious focus. And then have you noticed a difference when that is applied versus not in their results?
Yes. And I'm not just saying that because I created them. I really do. And I've purposely tried. I'm going to do a session with, I'm going to do a session without, and it never fails. There's always something super impactful that happens when I use the balms. And usually it's a spinning, it's a throbbing, it's a pulsating. There's an energy that I recognize really clearly. And I hear that from a lot of people as well. Sometimes I'll put it over the heart and I'll just feel super emotional just by applying it. And is it a placebo? I don't think so. There's actually it's a combination of your intention behind it, but also I'd like to think it's the custom blends of oils as well.
Fantastic. Lots of love coming out of here. Lucy Grieve, thank you so much.
Oh, hi, Lucy. I know Lucy.
Nice. And I bet you know this person, Amber Noel Bonham. She said that.
Oh, she has the balms. Love Amber. Hello.
Yeah, I can't wait to experience these balms. It's the balm. The balms are.
I'm going to register that name too, Chakra Bombs.
That's funny. I have a product called Carpet Bomb Marketing. This is perfect. We could go into business together with this.
We're going to pair up on this.
I find this extremely fascinating. And so the way that you go about serving your clients, I know today it's all virtual, but you've also done it in person. I've seen, I think it was videos, maybe even pictures as well, where people are just relaxed and laying down, in that case on the floor, what I saw. And in a group setting, I noticed you had some, I think, incense or something that you were walking around with. And I'm sure there was some wonderfully soothing music going on in the background. Notice how the voice is dropping. And go ahead.
No, I'm just lighting some Palo Santo. That's what I like to use in sage.
Is that an incense or something else that just became legal in California?
Palo Santo is it's a wood actually, and it helps to not only clear away heavy energy, but also bring in positive, loving energy. So yeah, I use that a lot in my sessions. The smell is amazing. It's super earthy and woodsy, and of course, sage is always good.
So where do you get that?
You know what? You can get Palo Santo in numerous places. There's stores on Etsy that sell it. There's a lot of spiritual stores. I like Liberate Emporium right here in Los Angeles. If you're here, they have a lot of great things. Like, and if we're going to smoke myself out.
Sounds like a rebrand opportunity to me, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I would like to say it's on my website, but I don't have that yet.
So that could be the fuse to your bombs.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to get on that.
I love it. So that's phenomenal. So then you also have people that you are now doing this remotely through, say, like Zoom, and you're walking them through, talking them through. And so what is an experience like that for a client? Are they sitting in a chair, in a bed, but either or both? How does that work?
Yeah, I always recommend people do it lying down because, when you do some deep breathing, you can get lightheaded in the beginning. And it's actually difficult to access the belly breath when you're seated. So you can lie on the bed, on your couch, on the carpet, on a yoga mat. It doesn't really matter. And then I guide people through the breathing to music. And the music is really important. It's similar to hypnosis and other healing sessions. The music has a lot to do with the healing experience, whether it's if you want people motivated, you'll play motivational music. If you want them to relax. Yeah, so I pride myself in kind of choosing some nice combination of world and inspirational music and guide them through the process.
Yeah, music helps put them into the state that you want them in to get the most out of the session for them. Yeah, it's just, oh my goodness. I've got to give this a whirl because, and you did some demonstration of the breathing, how it went.
Yeah.
So it's not typical. It's not what I'm used to seeing where people say, breathe through the nose, then out through the mouth, and then, go through these long exhales and all that good stuff. And
Right.
I honestly don't know how yours works, but I'd be curious if you would be willing to show us how this whole thing goes about happening.
Absolutely. And I want to say that there are hundreds of styles of breathing, right? Breathwork has been around for thousands of years. But why I love this process so much is, and I certainly do my own breathing through the nose at times as well, and box breathing and all sorts of other styles. But this particular one, I use the mouth, actually, and that's how I was taught. And why I love breathing in the mouth is it just, you bring in so much more oxygen. I mean, even if you try right now breathing in the nose, and then you try your mouth, there's just a lot more freedom in that. And what I teach is a 3-part circular breath. And so the first inhale is in the belly, and the second inhale is in the chest, and then out. And you can try it seated at home. If you're driving, just be careful watching this show. Belly, in the chest, and out. So why I love this so much is we access those lower chakras, the solar plexus, the sacral, the root chakra. And by breathing in the belly, we're accessing that lower part of your body. And then with the chest breath, we're accessing the heart, the throat, and all of the upper chakras. And so we're really getting our money's worth, so to speak, and really accessing and cracking open the entire body. Sometimes belly breathing alone, it's great, but you're not really accessing the heart center. And that's why I love so much adding the chest breath in.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I was sitting here attempting to do it on my own and already getting lightheaded, probably just because I didn't work out today. I'm out of shape. But
no, it's normal to get lightheaded. Yeah.
Do you do the stomach, then the chest without exhales, just a little pause? Is that?
Yeah, or you can word it as almost like a half inhale in the belly.
Okay.
And then another half. So it's almost like one inhale in 2 spots. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And you do that for a period of time.
I do. I like why I love this so much is the results happen really quickly. I know there's other styles of breathing where you spend 3 hours lying down and breathing. Can you imagine? First of all, who has 3 hours? And second of all, that sounds intense. I generally do 24 minutes, 26 minutes of deep breathing and then some guided healing work at the end. That's all you need.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I can't wait to give this a whirl. Like I said earlier, I don't ever say give it a try because there's no such thing as try. There's no such thing as try.
Well, here's what I love. I say this, and I say this confidently, that it permanently shifts you. So, people who have struggled, people come to me often, tried everything else. They are sometimes exhausted because, they're like, I don't know what else to do. I feel like nothing's working. And that's kind of where I was at when breathwork entered. And very, very quickly, it helps you to access the heaviness, to release, and to get so that you can get busy, building your business, living your life, and having a little bit more joy, or a lot more joy. That's our goal, right? When life feels like a chore, or feels heavy, or we're constantly struggling, God, that's exhausting.
Constant resistance. Yep.
Yeah. And I spent most of my life there, so I know exactly what that's like. And that's why this is such a godsend.
And that's what I love about entrepreneurs like yourself. They take a personal life experience and then do something good with it and actually change lives. Like, oh my gosh, Gerson, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Oh, yes, my good friend.
He said, I was able to participate in Jay's classes and tried the Balms. Jay's competitive advance is that he speaks from experience. We were just saying that. And let it shine his purpose. He is highly interactive, not only guiding, but he participates. I think that's what that meant.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Gerson.
Test. There he goes. Yep.
That is awesome. Love you guys.
There we go.
Yeah, no, that is, even when I'm sharing in a private or a group setting, I always literally close my eyes and tap into that energy and come from a personal place as well as tuning into who's with me, because that's the only place we can come from, right? In any business, it's like you only know what you know, and you can't pretend. You can't, you can only, So I know struggle pretty well. So that's why I love what I do.
Fantastic. Hey, I want to mention real quick that everyone that's on watching, thank you for sticking around. You've all hung on this entire time. I appreciate that. And so does Jay. When you stay to the very end, you'll have an opportunity to win. That's right. A 5-night vacation stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Compliments of our pals. You see them up there in the upper right if you're watching on video. TheBigInsiderSecrets.com. The Big Insider Secrets, my buddy Jason Nast and his crew have sponsored this. They provide this for our show every single week. We give one of these away. And yes, even with all the shutdowns and everything that's going on, you will be able to move about the country. I fully believe that sometime, hopefully this year. Until then, hey, I've got a flight booked to go to St. Louis this weekend, so everything's still good. I'm moving and shaking. So definitely stick on to the end, and we'll show you exactly how you can win. Super, super simple. It's super fast. It's actually kind of fun, too. So you don't want to miss that. I want to make sure I get my buddy in there, my buddy Jason Nast. And we have more people talking. Speak of the guy. You know, you say the name out loud, and he appears. It's Mr. Travis. How you doing, Travis? So great to have you on. Yeah, Travis is another amazing. I mean, the two of you together, oh my gosh, that would be something else. Travis is amazing. Look him up. He's been on the Mind Body Business Show as well. Travis Taylor, amazing gentleman. He literally scanned my body from in a good way from afar, and he's an amazingly talented individual. And highly recommend you look him up. Just go to the mindbodybusinessshow.com, past shows, and scroll down to you find Travis Taylor and see what that crazy, in a good way, young man is all about.
We're all a little crazy.
And you know what? Honestly, we have to be to do what we do, don't we?
You definitely have to be a little crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, we are, you know, because we're cut from a different cloth. There are very few entrepreneurs percentage-wise across the globe compared to people who work for other people. And, you know, there's a reason why there are so few, because we're risk takers. We're willing to do things that many will never even think of doing. It doesn't mean we're better. I'm not saying that. Please don't read that into it. We're different, just different. In fact, people could say we're not as good because there's so few of us. Who knows? But I personally, I love entrepreneurs. I mean, like Jay, he came on, like I said, 30 minutes, and I felt like I knew this guy for a long time. Anytime I go to a networking event, seminar, boot camp, back when we could, and I was just on an online summit. There's a great example. I just felt this synergy with everybody in the room physically or in a virtual Zoom room. Do you find that to be the case, Jay, when you're out and about with the entrepreneurial world?
Yeah, I think when you're with like-minded people, there's definitely a synergy, right? Because you all understand what it takes, and there's a similar energy, similar struggle sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Man, we're getting some more love. You want to see some more love?
Oh, Angela.
Thunder Bay, Angela Fimo. Does anybody have a name I can pronounce that you work with? Fimognari. Oh, it sounds Italiano. She says, hi, Jay from Thunder Bay with a heart. Just want to say I enjoyed his breathing session when he was here. And so did quite a bit of my friends. Love the Balms and sensed you to come back soon. I love that. When COVID ISO, I think we get the idea when that's done.
I cannot wait to come back. Thunder Bay is my hometown in Canada.
Love it. And Travis is back. Synchronicities. He said, I literally just heard to check in. Yes, that's right. And so excited that you have Jay on. Yes, me too. His breathwork workshops and Chakra Bombs. So we're definitely going to give you all the method to get in touch with Jay to get on a breath session. Is that what you call it? A breathe on it session?
Yes.
And also how to get access to his amazing handmade Chakra Bombs. I mean, this guy invented this whole thing. I mean, bombs have not been, he did not invent bombs by themselves, but these are handmade, handcrafted with a certain amount of essential oils and other ingredients that I don't think anyone else uses. And it's genius because it also helps accentuate the chakras, the areas, the energy, call them discs that are energy, to get them spinning and more intense to give you the better results that you want and that you deserve. Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic, man. I should be a marketer for you. I think this is pretty fun.
You're hired. I'm telling you, it's better than I could have ever said.
Oh my goodness, I'm having a blast.
We need a Chakra Bomb jingle.
So, you've been doing this for a while now. You've obviously had success. We have your clients coming in and commenting and saying how much they love everything about you. And that's because you're authentic and that what you do gives them results. Do you think, now being where you are in your life, you've had the experience to know, do you think there is some kind of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Yes, I think there is. And I want to say there's a number of things. I think that what comes to mind first is honestly discipline, consistency. But that being said, I think I'm switching. I used to be a real do it now, take action person, but I'm learning inspired action can take you so much further than just being busy, just doing all the time. And so I think being a successful entrepreneur means tapping into inspired action and intuition and all of these things we've been talking about, your emotional and spiritual health as well. So you can actually take action that resonates with people and that, is authentic. So, but it does, it's a bit of a roller coaster, not going to lie, right? Every day's a new day and it's like, okay, how can I get my message out? How can I help people? And you're always on your feet thinking about ways. And it's a fine line between promoting yourself, right, and selling, and then just genuinely sharing your message. So, but I would say most definitely, the other thing I'm noticing, especially with a lot of healers and people in my business, it takes a lot of self-love and confidence. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're selling yourself essentially, whether you have a product or whatever it is. You have to get up each day and basically promote yourself. And there's a lot of resistance sometimes and a lot of lack and questioning your belief and your worth. And I think we really need to move through that and look at that in order to be successful. And that's been a lot of my journey, and I moved through a lot of it. There's still some, not going to lie. And, it's a process.
I think there always will be some, but that you hit the nail on the head there with the confidence factor. I remember when I was struggling and didn't have the confidence that I do now. And wow, you just made me think about that time. And I'm actually looking back with joy because of how far I've come from that day. And it takes time, it takes effort, like concerted effort. Go find a coach, a mentor. Maybe Jay would offer to coach you. And because, it's a life experience that is so valuable, to have people like Jay or even myself who've gone through a lot of the ups and downs, the trials, the hardships, and the successes. We can also help, as Jay said, give you that shortcut to help you get to the prize faster without going through all the trial and error. Some of it's unnecessary. Some of it I think is valuable personally, Jay. I mean, have I not gone through all of those, I wouldn't realize or remember what it took to get where I'm at and give me the confidence as a result, right?
Definitely. You don't want to take that away. I mean, talk about the law of attraction. You got to feel the contrast in order to enjoy the up, and you got to feel, experience the down. But if we could shorten that a little bit, not spend 30, 40 years there, but maybe, maybe 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We would say take 10 and drop it to 3 or 4, maybe 5.
Great.
We're doing some more.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Pat. Love you.
Okay. I need help with the last name. Honiotes?
Honiotes.
Ooh, that's close. Honiotes. Thank you, Pat. The Balms are the bomb. I send them to people when they're upskittled. I like that.
I love that. Pat uses great words.
Yes. And Mr. Price is checking in. John Price says, Jay is an incredible coach and facilitator. His sessions help you dig within and uncover the healing that is waiting for you. I mean, folks, you can't make this up. This is a live show. Nobody was paid to appear and make these statements to come on. These are signs that Jay knows what he's doing and that he gets results for his people, his clients. And that I don't even know if he calls them clients, probably calls them his friends, because he's in it to help you to be your best you. And when you get to clear everything out using his processes, just think of how quicker you can get to that point of maximum confidence. When the resistance is gone, when all those little devils that pop up on your shoulder telling you how you can't get something done, and you get cleared out by going through a JayBradley breathing session, and now you can just forge ahead without anything in your way. Would that be what would that be? You can't put a money figure on that, in my personal opinion.
You're right. You can't, because sometimes these are the biggest, like you said, the demons that sit on our shoulder, whatever you want to call it, things that we struggle with for years and years and years, sometimes all the way from childhood. And, we all have at least one or two of those things. And boy, yeah, to get rid of that after years and years and years. And there's no price. You're right. And I also like to say to people, like, sometimes instead of pushing it away, right, what I love to do with people is have them look at that darkness and those blocks and learn to love it and learn to embrace it and actually stop pushing and instead listen to what it has to tell us. And it may always be there, right? That little voice may not permanently go away, but the more we learn how to deal with it, the more powerful we can become. So.
Yeah, and I just want to make it clear to everyone here that this show isn't here to pitch anyone or anything. I've gone through similar things using the science of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and I know that it works, having gone through it and now certified in it. And when Jay talks, and then you see all of his friends, his clients coming on and basically saying, yeah, what he does works. And what it does is gives you such, I call it liberation, Jay. It just liberates you from, from all the baggage and junk and crap in your life, and enables you to just go forward without any inhibitions, anything holding you back. And because you do such magnificent work and you've had so many results, that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm like preaching about them from the rooftop here, because I know the kind of impact that things like Jay does can have on people and do have. And I implore upon you, if you're struggling in any part of your life, if you're being held up, if you feel that there are things holding you back, reach out to him. JayBradley, in fact, we've got his website. It's been up a couple of times, breatheonit.net. That'll be one way for you to get in touch with him. We'll give you others here in just a moment when we near the end of the show. But
I'm glad you said that, though. Sorry, because that's really the key is, if you're blocked, if you're having resistance, if you're struggling, just keep looking and keep searching. That's, what I did my whole life. Eventually, the right things are going to come to you to help you move through those. And, sometimes we try a bunch of things and things work for a while, but and it's different for everybody. But yeah, just keep searching, keep saying yes. And I think that's the key, right? Be curious, always be curious, and know that you can have more and that you deserve more, especially if you're struggling. I know what it's like to just accept and think, oh God, this is my life. Like, I'm going to have these struggles forever. But I think I've moved through a lot of those. And so I know other people can too.
You just dropped two golden nuggets right there. They were subtle, yet so profound. He said, just say yes. Just say yes. I cannot tell you, and there's a movie by that's kind of comical, but it's cool. It's actually works to a degree. Don't go crazy like in the movie. And what's his name? Jim.
Was it Jim Carrey? No.
Yes, Jim Carrey.
Oh, it was?
Yes, Man. It's called Yes Man. Okay. But the thing is after going through my training with NLP and learning to say yes more often to things, the only reason I was saying no is because my subconscious or my conscious was saying, here are all the reasons you shouldn't. But the subconscious was actually saying, well, you should, and you feel it, but you're going to let your conscious overrule. Once I started switching that and saying yes and getting uncomfortable, spending 10 grand on a course that I didn't have 10 grand for, I've done that more than once. And each time massive progress has occurred. So that was one nugget. So be discerning, do your homework, and then just say yes. And then you said the other thing, be curious. The most successful people on the planet are those that are the most curious. And real quick, a quick story. My mentor, his name is Mel Cutler. He met Richard Branson in person back when Mel was much younger. He's not that old, but he was much younger than he is today. And they were standing out in the hallway at some kind of event, and Richard walked up to him and just started peppering him with questions. And Mel's like, he said this from stage. My mentor was a seminar speaker, and he would tell a story and said, why? you're Richard Branson. I want to ask you questions. Why are you asking me all these questions? And he didn't say that. That's what he was thinking. But that is one of the greatest traits of one of the most successful entrepreneurs on the planet. And everyone that you'll meet in your walk with entrepreneurs is they are definitely deeply curious about so many things. And that's a great trait. So say yes and be curious if you want success after having a visit and getting some breath work done for Mr. JayBradley. That is so important. Get it done quick. Get it done now. Mind and body, mind and body. That's what he works. And that's what will clear you so you can crush it in business. My personal opinion right there. Sweet. Let's see. We've got more people coming on. I love this. All right. Hey, I can actually say something. I can say her name because we've done it once. Pat Honiotes. The best about Jay is his non-judgment. Yeah, I can see that in him. This guy can handle anything that comes up, no matter how gross or shameful it may feel to you. Wow.
That's beautiful.
Thank you for your transparency, Pat. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I've kind of seen it all. Nothing surprises me, and I've been through a lot of it anyway. And the more open and vulnerable we can be, the more we're going to move through that stuff.
Well, to me, from an outside observer looking in, what this exhibits is incredible, massive trust in you.
Thank you.
And that's a huge, so people like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Some people would consider it very personal. And the only way you could be effective is if they trust you. Yes. And you've obviously set and laid that groundwork for people to understand that you're there to help them. They understand it. They get it. And because of that, and the way you are, because you come from the heart, they're willing to lay down right in front of you and have you walk them through a process that changes their life forever. And it's a beautiful thing. So you've obviously earned the trust. And I say earn because trust is not given by anybody. And so kudos to you, my man. Not that I'm surprised. Man, that's phenomenal.
I mean, it's a big job. And, I appreciate, people who do trust me through the process, because it's not fun. It's not always fun, right? Most people, it's so much easier to avoid this stuff and to stay busy. But people come to me already. They know they deserve more, and they're ready to go through whatever messiness needs to show up so they can move through. We can't go around this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
We got to face it. We got to look at it, and we got to move through it. So thank you.
And we're all human, right? When it gets down to it. So I still to this day have certain things that I would rather avoid. Like I have fears of things in my life, but I was curious if there was something looming that you have that you're willing to share. What is your greatest fear right now, whether it's business or personal, and how do you manage it and get past it?
That's a great question. I always think my biggest fear is like dying before, that term with my music still in me, but just kind of not feeling used up, right? Like I'm here for a reason. I know that. And some, there's been times in my life where I didn't understand or know what that was. And that's a horrible place to be. Right now, I feel like I am very clear, but there's so much more. And I think, and also, I'm super motivated and inspired by money and success as well, and so there's a lot of goals there. And I think dying before I actually accomplish those is a fear.
Yeah. And that can drive you, right? I mean, you and I are both past the half-century mark. So
yes,
we don't have as much time as many. And that spurs me as well. Man, that was perfect when you said not feeling used up. Oh, I couldn't have said it any better.
Isn't that how we want to feel at the end of the day?
Yeah, I want to be completely exhausted, done, nothing left in the tank. Okay, I'm ready, Lord, take me now. But not before.
Got to say, some of my worst days are those days where I don't feel used up, or I'm not in the flow, or I'm not inspired, or I kind of wasted a day. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because God, we should rest and just relax. But, I think we all want to feel some sort of purpose and mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Not saying that, yes, you're right. I just agree. And I think you're right.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, my God. I just looked at the clock. We have 5 minutes. Oh, no. So based on that, we do have a few things left to cover here in this short 5 minutes. If we go over a little bit, we'll go over a little bit, but I want to respect everyone's time. I appreciate everyone who's been watching, and those of you listening to the recording on podcast, those of you watching the video recording, I appreciate you too. Reach out. Love to hear from you as well. What did you get from JayBradley during this episode? It's been amazing. What I like to do, Jay, and we're going to get to how do people contact you first, is there's a question I like to ask of every entrepreneur that comes on this show to end the show, close to ending the show. And it's very profound, I found, because I've asked 130 or so of them.
Okay.
It's amazing. And it's sometimes powerful. It's sometimes personal. It's a mind blower in a great way, Mm-hmm. Before we get into that, I promised everyone something about mid-show. Do you remember that? I promised you that if you stuck with us to the end, and we're not all the way there, but you've made it far enough, that will reveal a way for you to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Compliments, again, of the biginsidersecrets.com. So now, remember in the beginning I said, keep your attention here on the show, get out a notepad. Well, now both Jay and I will give you permission, if Jay agrees, to bring out your smartphone and bring out your text messaging app. Do that right now, because that's how you enter. And I'll put it up on the screen and let you know how to do that right now. So bring up your text messaging app, and where you would actually put in the name of the person you're going to text, instead put in this phone number, put in 314-665-1767. And then when you would actually go to type that message, you know, that spot where some use emojis and all that fun stuff. Well, here you just use plain old good text. And here is where you type in 2 words separated by a hyphen. The 2 words are peak, that's P-E-A-K, dash, if you prefer dash, vacation. So P-E-A-K dash vacation. That number again is 314-665-1767. Do that now. And just watch your text messaging app, because you will get some auto responses to that. And you'll be asked to fill in your email address. I think it's just one more step, if I recall correctly. And you will be officially entered to win. And we pick a winner every single week. I cannot wait to see who wins. I hope it's you.
Yeah.
And you don't even know who.
I can't wait to hear.
Love it. And it's so funny, Jay, when I'm doing that, so I can see you in the back and I can see the guest experts. Many times the guest on the show is got their phone out and they're typing.
I wasn't going to steal that opportunity from people watching.
And I see nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And some past guest experts have literally won. I mean, you came on and brought all this value. I have personally no problem with it at all. You deserve it. You earned it. In fact, maybe I'll just give you one because
that would be good. I'll take it.
I can talk to my sponsor and get his approval. No problem for that. And the other one was, I think you had a gift for people. I wanted to bring that up real quick. And it was a link, if I recall. There it is. If you would real quickly be so kind to explain what that is all about for the fine folks.
Definitely. Well, I have a custom recorded and guided breathwork session. So it's something you can do over and over and over at home. And, it's absolutely free. It comes as a download for you.
I'm punching in one-handed. We're going to get there. I want everybody to see it. And then I misspelled it.
Oh.
We'll get there. Stay with us. Subscribe. Yeah, one-handed is just not, it's just killing me. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Once I get my mind put to something, it's going to happen. So breatheonit.net. Okay. Brian is not with it today. Stick with us because we still have that incredibly powerful question coming up right after you write down the URL that you see on the screen and go to it. And what you will see is something like, I'll find it. There it is. I'm out of practice, brother. There it is.
Perfect.
So go to that page. I am definitely going to subscribe myself and get that to find out more about what you do, how you do it. And so it's breatheonit.net is where you go. And in there, in the home section, I'm going to guess, is where you can find the balms. Where do they find the balms?
The balms will be in the shop.
Store. Got it.
Store that or store. I should know my own site. Yeah, that.
Right there. Sweet. 7 Chakras breathwork series. And
Well, actually, no, that is the guided breathwork series.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Through all chakras. That's okay. It should be. They should be in there somewhere.
There we go.
There they are.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Chakra Bombs. So definitely, look at that. Each bomb contains over 100 drops of custom essential oil blends. I know personally essential oils are not cheap. I have a mister that's running all the time in my office. And yeah, it does take some serious commitment on a financial front to keep that rolling and going. So definitely come in here, shop, but first subscribe and get connected with Jay. Jay, how else can people connect with you?
Well, I use Instagram a lot, and of course Facebook, and it's Breathe on It with Jay.
Right on. Breathe on It with Jay. So breathe has an E at the end.
Got it.
I personally get that wrong. Breath on it. Breathe on it with Jay. Go find him on Instagram, and definitely please connect with him. And you know what? Maybe it's not the right time for you, but you will never know unless you reach out and say, Jay, tell me more. If you have questions, ask him. Be curious, like successful entrepreneurs. And then the second step, this is just too good. I can't make this up, is say yes.
Say yes.
You just heard that is the way to become a successful entrepreneur. 2 great patterns to develop for yourself in your life. All right. Well, I know we've kind of dangled this carrot out there for quite some time. Are you ready for this big question?
Oh, I'm kind of nervous. You got me nervous.
So here's the thing about this question, Jay. There is no such thing as a wrong answer. It is impossible.
Oh, good.
In fact, the exact opposite is true. The only correct answer is yours. That's the personal part of it. That's it. We're not getting deep into the personal. It's going to be yours and yours uniquely to you. That makes sense?
Yes.
Some guests have the answer immediately. Others take some time to ponder. Either way is just fine because it's your answer. It's the right one. So take however long you need. Sound good?
Yes.
So you can take that deep breath that you know how to do so well. And yeah, let it on out. And here we go. I'm going to set this bad boy up for massive success. JayBradley, how do you define success?
Ooh, how do I define success? I define success similarly to the way I define my fear. And that would be at the end of your day, knowing that you did everything you could to not only help people, but also to find your bliss. So I think I would define success as being used up, living your life fully and completely, and finding as much joy along the way as possible. I know that's a long answer, but
it was only the correct answer. That was phenomenal.
Answer, yeah.
Phenomenal. Thank you so very, very much, JayBradley. You are just a breath of fresh air. Wow. I actually didn't mean that, and that's pretty funny. Wow.
Thank you.
No pun intended, literally. As soon as I said it, I'm like, wow, I just did that.
That's awesome.
And so, everyone, thank you so much for hanging on. I can't wait to see all those entries for the big prize, the 5-night stay at a 5-star resort of your choosing. And I can't wait to see you all come back again. We do this every single week. We have amazing people like this man right here, JayBradley. You just felt it. You got it. Massive value. Every week we do this. I could charge thousands for this, literally. This is the most, I get the most out of this of anybody. I love what I get to do as the host. I have learned so much from so many people. This man is one of them. I have learned a lot, and I can't wait to experience the breatheonit.net experience. I said experience twice, didn't I? So with that, Jay, I want to just say one last thing for you is if you were to give a budding entrepreneur one piece of advice, if you could think of just one thing to give someone who's just getting started, going through that struggle, what would you say to that person?
I would say do anything you can to work through your blocks to confidence and self-worth and value.
There you go.
First and foremost.
Mm-hmm. It's all about mindset, isn't it?
It is.
In the mind and body. Thank you so much, JayBradley. I appreciate you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
On behalf of this amazing man, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. We will see you again next week. Until then, so long and be blessed, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.